Hello friends, Boltmatrix coming at you, and today we are taking a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Voyager Class Megatron. That is such a freaking mouthful. I'm going to have to shorten that up a bit. Anyway, this is Megatron. He is packaged in robot mode, but I'm going to go ahead and start off in vehicle mode because, quite frankly, I feel like it. Vehicle mode is this quarter track tank. It works well for Megatron, I think. The directions say to keep the robot feet up. I like having them put down towards the back. That's my preference. Turret turns 360 degrees with no real problems. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any up or down elevators in it. The overall aesthetic of the alt mode is pretty good. It looks much better in person than it does in any pictures. I would have liked to have seen more covering up the back here. Just having this big open gap back here where you could see the hips and the bottom of the feet is a bit of an eyesore. Not the biggest deal in the world. I have to commend Hasbro for actually painting Megatron's tank barrel. It works. The silver, the red, it just, without the paint, it would have sucked. It really would have. One thing that I don't particularly care for is all the smudging going on. I talked about that in my Optimus Prime review. It works a little bit better here on Megatron in tank mode, as it's on the tops, but oddly not on the sides? Weird. Anyway, I get what they're going for, but as I said before, I don't want my figures pre-dirtied. I want to do it myself. Transformation for Megatron in tank mode is much more complex than I was originally thinking it was going to be. So the first thing you need to know is he's already got all of his accessories on him in this mode. To start with, come to the front of the barrel, and pull it away from the vehicle mode, and then, oh hey look, the little stabby bits that come with his one accessory are attached. And they're attached on swivels, so you can slide it out. But this whole thing transforms by simply flipping the turret around and locking it into place. That's where the swivel comes in, because you have to kind of swivel it out of the way, get the turret in place, and then get it all lined up and snap it into place. And then you end up with his giant pointy cannon knife thing. Seriously, the name for this is really stupid and is showing up in the subtitle right now. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the transformation going. To start off with, we are going to come to the bottom of the tank mode, and hi Megatron's head, unpeg the rear of the tank mode from the sides, and then flip out these inner pieces. They will fold out, and then we can unfold the legs from the tank. Or I should say, unfold the knees from the treads. Which is sometimes harder to do because one of the hinges for the legs is a little bit too loose. So as you saw, just straighten out the tread, fold that section up, fold the feet down, and flip out the heels. Oh, and I did forget to show you the detailing on the back or the bottom of those feet. They're like exhaust panels for tanks. If you ever looked at the back of an Abrams tank, it has giant exhaust, or there's a giant radiator and engine is in the back of the tank. That really reminds me of it. And now we have a standing tank that we could turn the hips 180 degrees to stand him up like this. Now, yes, I could do the Gerwalk tank mode, but he's too front heavy for that. Standing Megatron up, we then come to the front turrets, or treads, and unpeg them, and kind of just grab the entire front of the tank, flip it up past the treads, and then pull the entire front tank mode up like this. Once you've got this section folded up all the way, come back to the turret of the tank and split it apart, and open it up like this. And then this is where things get a little bit tricky, because we have to somehow fold this whole section back up like that. Oh, and there was one thing. The head was actually keeping it from doing that. When you do that, you can then fold the treads in to the back and peg the treads in. Take the shoulders, fold them all the way forward until they snap into place. Fold the treads down until that whole section snaps into place. Fold these little hammer sections down and grab the fusion cannon, turn it 180 degrees, then come to the inside of the forearms and flip out the fists and push the head down. The robot mode works pretty darn well, and the coloring is very good. The smudging I don't particularly care for. Nothing I can do about that. The treads for the backpack, though, are gigantic. But I can't argue with the overall look of Megatron, except for the smudging on the chest. I really don't like that. Head sculpt, though, is fantastic. The head is just really well done. I'm definitely thinking of removing the smudging, or the dirt, because I just don't like it. Head is on a ball joint, but it's located at the back of the bucket head, which is odd. So the figure can look up quite a bit, can't really look down all that much. Shoulders are on a series of hinges that have a lot of movement. So you've got 360 degree movement there, and then almost a little over 180 degree movement in and out. Swivel just above the elbow, 90 degree bend at the elbow, and there is a locking elbow here for the transformation. Fists do not swivel, unfortunately. Torso swivel is here, can kick forward and back at nearly 180 degrees, can kick out at the same. Thigh swivel, 90 degree bend at the knee. Ankles do articulate, but they are locked in, which is odd. One thing you do need to be aware of, if you pull too hard on the feet towards the inside of the robot mode, the feet will slide right off. Now, one thing with the heels you need to be aware of that I wanted to show you is there are these little itty-bitty plastic pieces that you have to be very careful of, because if you push the heels all the way and you don't do it right, the rear heel will just pop right off. But otherwise, it will lock into place with a little bit more force than you might be comfortable with using. So just be aware of that. The dirt on the figure is my biggest concern, and really, I just don't like it. I know some people do, but it just doesn't work. I don't want my toys pre-dirty. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. I just don't want them pre-dirtied. Now, Megatron has many attachment points for Battle Masters and other things. He has one on each lower leg, one on each forearm, one on each shoulder, 2 at the top of his backpack, and then 2 at the back part of his treads. And in vehicle mode, he only has 4, the points that are on the sides of the treads. So if you want to armor him up with lots of Battle Masters, that's how you're going to do it. One other thing I would have loved to have seen is swivels with the fists or on the fists, but not the biggest deal in the world. It works fine without them. One really cool thing about the placement of the attachment points on the back is you could store the gigantic sword right back there with no problems. And it works just straight up and down, or I like to just put it in an angle. Or if you wanted something more, I don't know, Gundam 00 Quant, you could just put it on the side of his shoulder. That works too. Or just, attach it to his fusion cannon to come up with the NFM Particle Beam Mega Launcher. That's totally something from Gundam. I'm sure it has to be. Size-wise, Voyager-class Megatron scales with other released Voyager-class figures. As you can see, we have Voyager-class Grimlock here. It is definitely bigger than a Deluxe, and definitely smaller than MP-10 Prime. Before we conclude the video review, I'd like to show off the box and the fantastic artwork that is on the side here. It works incredibly well. The overall look of the box is just nice. It's a nice box. Little odd in the proportions, but oh well. Love the artwork. Something else that I love about the box, just get that off to the side, is the insert that it comes with. I've never seen this before. I'm assuming it is the flag or the insignia for the city of Kaon, considering that's the sword, and that kind of looks like a gladiatorial ring with city spires. That's what my guess is, and maybe Prime's is the city insignia for Iacon. Not sure, but it's really pretty. It's a fun figure, and it's definitely good looking in robot mode. The tank mode is a little weird, but it does work, and it is significantly bigger than Optimus in his alternate mode. So if you're going to pick up Prime, you might as well pick up Megatron. I think it belongs in your collection. Thank you so much for watching this video review. Please let me know what you think of Megatron down in the comments. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and stay tuned for upcoming reviews, because next, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Studio Series Dropkick. As always, I am Bolt Matrix, and I will catch you next time.